Hi everybody, this is me putting a face to the voice. Today's a start of day 3 with the Breadcrumb challenge with Nick, and it's about intuition, which is a funny one because for me intuition and art go hand in hand. My understanding and my intuition are very, very deep. It's something I've spent a lot of time thinking about: soulfulness, intuition, and the deep dive into the self and healing. So today's challenge is where Nick's put out that we look at our own art and where art speaks to us in those moments of silence, maybe. Nick didn't actually say that, but for me, being in the trees, being in the forest, is the moment that art speaks to me. So the word art for me is not necessarily the be all and end all, because I would like to just say that it's the it's the process of life. It's creativity, it's intuition, it's exploration. And if you're using music, if you're using knitting, if you're using collage, if you're using painting, if you're figurative drawing, however it works in a creative capacity. You could be cooking. Cooking can be your creative capacity. So there's all different things. Someone might even find that their creative capacity is with mathematical formula. But for me, when you're talking about intuition and creativity, and I can only speak about my journey, it is colour, it is movement, it is playfulness, joyfulness, all of those things. So I'm going to get onto the table and I'm going to talk a bit more about that while I'm working. Okay, I'm back on the table. So that was really vulnerable of me to do that, because I really do not like and I'm not the only one, obviously. It makes me feel very self-conscious to film myself. I don't really necessarily feel comfortable about it. However, I feel that I'm talking to you, and so sometimes maybe it is appropriate for my face to be there rather than just hands. I did it no makeup, and so that's just the way it is. I'm happy about that. I'm a no makeup sort of girl. Anyway. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is this intuition today. Where is the art in my life? What are the parts of your life that would remind you of your desire to make art? All right, so for me, adding to putting in vulnerability was that if we can address our vulnerability, then we can bring out what's being hidden, what we're suppressing, what we're scared of, what we're fearful, and Nick talked about that a bit. First I wanted to start with, this was the piece that I made after yesterday's piece with the train wreck. I should call it the train wreck. That lady was a train wreck. So I said yesterday that it was like a warm-up almost, doing the exercise. And then this is what I did straight after, and I had a bit more flow and a little bit more freedom with it. And I was just playing, I was just mucking around. But the thing that happened was then I did what I often do, and I believe this is part of how I work intuitively. I go and I look at the parts of it, and I see that, oh, there's that. Let me show you. Is it gone? It is. So, oh, there's this bit here I really love. So that's this. That's this part. And this part. So that part is down here. This part is a snippet from here. I love this. I love this through here. So I'm not necessarily painting in this sense. My intuition is that I've gone, wow, I've done this and that was great yesterday. how can I play with this? How can I create with this piece and take it further? Here, love that. That's probably my favourite of the lot. Work out where this is. I think it's here. There's that bit of green. So that's this bit here. Well, this is this bit in here. Love it. So where do I go from there? Do I create a piece today, or is this my piece? Are these my pieces? I wouldn't mind actually working on this piece. I love this. And I'm really feeling this this sense of this here today of being green, and this somehow made me think, here's this little bit of yellow through here. This made me think a little bit of lemon, the colour lemon. And I just saw this on the side and I thought, wow, that's interesting, isn't it? Right, got some new material scissors. So I'll just see how they go. Oh, that's nice. Oh, lovely. So can I create another piece out of this? And I'm really, honestly, I have to say I am thoroughly enjoying doing this, because I did the Artist Way a long time ago, and people do ask me, you know, do you want to do that? Should you run it? I've been a little bit hesitant because of COVID, I suppose. Well, we haven't been able to have gatherings or anything, so that's made it a little bit hard, but you know, Zoom's a thing. Or just part of my vulnerability with the way I do my YouTube and the way I am teaching. It also, as someone who has worked as an art teacher in the past, it's learning how to do that in a new format, as many teachers have been, I guess, with the lockdown. Now I just love that. I'm going to work on this. This is how my intuition works. How do I add? How do I play? How do I find something that I love in this? So I'm just adding some lemon type on there in the bits where it'll be able to see it. That's nice. Love that. Just got a little folder of words and things. A little bit darker. So for me, I find that it sometimes is difficult to be in my own creative headspace and verbalise. That's a skill that some days I have and some days I don't. But already in this I'm starting to see I love that little bit. So there's another little area I can pull out. It helps to have a really good scanner, of course. I don't think this is a 5-minute picture actually. Once you get started and you want to put on layer and layer and layer, it's not necessarily a quick thing. I don't mind. Obviously I want to add lots of words and text today. I'm going to bring a bit more of this lemon in, a bit more of that. Okay, so for me, I know that my intuition works fabulously well. You know, it's something I've practiced, it's something I've worked on. So I don't really have any creative blocks when it comes to this sort of thing. I can just sit here and doodle and noodle and noodle all day and it's great. So I'm just wondering what contribution I can be to anyone watching that may be stuck with creativity. Watching Nick's great because I guess he sits in the energy of what he's talking about, and so you pick that up just by watching him. Now I feel like this needs a bit of a statement at the moment. I'll just let that dry a bit. It's really nice to be bringing in these bits of material that I've used. So even in that little increment, I was like, oh, I'll let that dry and I'll work up here. Saw this, picked it up, and then had to put it on even though I've just said I can let that dry. So it's like, oh, your intuition. So, oh, okay, here's a good example. Your intuition is not necessarily some great big, you've got to sit and on it all day and think about it all day and get it right. Your intuition is really very fast. It's a Speedy Gonzales, just as I just illustrated then. I'm loving this little stamp. Anyway, straight off into just quick, snappy ideas and decisions. So your intuition can be so many different things. Nick drew a picture of this little triangle with a line like an iceberg, and how underneath there's this massive, you think, if you look at that and go, that's my intuition, and there's this sea line, the line of the sea, not sea lion. You've got this iceberg is what you can see, and but when you look underneath, there's this creepy. That's what intuition is. Deep, much deeper and broader than we imagine. Now, I wasn't expecting to do this much stamping today, but for some reason it's just the best fun. I mean, yesterday was memory lane for being childlike, and I guess it's carried over. Really, you're not going to make a discovery unless you allow your inner child to play and get a bit of a creative handle on it. Let your inner child play and see where it goes. Let it out. Just let it out. I don't know if this is dry enough, but this is going over the top of that. That's nice. Alright, so I think a bit of lemon here maybe. I was really feeling that lemon before, but this piece is very nature. It's a muchly. How's that for a word? It's a very naturey. And also the other thing with this more abstract collage-y approach, you know, all of a sudden, which way is up? Which is the right way? Does it matter? It doesn't. However, when I look at this little snippet here, I almost get this beautiful Stonehenge-y green grass in a vignette. So I am definitely going to scan that and recreate that. Love that. I think aside from drying and taking it further with scanning it and working it a lot more, I think that's, I feel like that's done today. That's it. And I'd like to now go and create something else from that, like I did yesterday. Alright, so I think that's it for our day 3 of Breadcrumb Challenge. And I just really actually want to say thank you to Nick for his patience and his generosity and his kindness with his teachings. And I am so loving this. I'm just loving this exploration. I will see you tomorrow for day 4. And I hope you're enjoying this journey if you're following along. And Sherry commented that this is probably looking harder, or might be harder than first expected. And you know what, Sherry, just play, just have fun, just give it a go. And I'm sure it will be brilliant. Okay, bye for now.